Hey, welcome back to Low Energy Reviews. I just literally finished watching Bojack. I had planned to review this more or less as it came out, but I wasn't feeling it. Then last night I got very drunk, as you probably saw. Big shock, I get drunk on Wednesdays. And sure enough, I didn't want to even sit in this chair for most of the day, so I hopped into bed, turned on Netflix, and I'm still processing it. Um, this is season 5 of Bojack, and I've loved it from the beginning. I absolutely adored Bojack from the beginning. I consider it one of the smartest shows on TV. I consider it one of the most adult shows, not like sex and swearing and violence, but I mean adult themes and issues that are relatable. There's a reason I say Bojack is my spirit animal. Um, so when season 4 ended, this will all, by the way, have spoilers in it, obviously, not just for season 5, but if you haven't watched any Bojack, I will be dropping spoilers. Um, season 4 ended on a bit of a high note for Bojack and shit for everyone else. So I was expecting season 5 to be a sort of similar idea where everyone needs help from Bojack to get back on their feet. Instead, what we get is Bojack once again fucking things up. Not at first, uh, but it ends up him making terrible choices, and now he's an addict. He wasn't just a drunk. He now has a addiction to painkillers, which almost resulted in someone getting killed. It's hard to make a character like Bojack likable, and they do it by simply showing that, as they say in the show, he's not a bad guy or a good guy. He's just a guy who fucks up. Um, he basically goes through an arc where he starts off, things are looking pretty bright, and at the end of it, he goes to rehab. That's the gist of it. But obviously, Diane dealing with her own shit, with the divorce that doesn't quite go well. Mr. Peanut Butter, who I fucking adore, can't really cause too much negativity in his life, even though maybe he should. Princess Caroline is still looking for a kid, but also trying to manage her job. There's a bunch of new characters. And one thing I like about Bojack, one thing I absolutely adore, is that even the small characters, they have a lot of backstory and not memorabilia. They probably do nowadays with merchandising, but there's a lot of memorable moments with them. I think Flip is the director on the show Bojack's doing, and he ends up having this that weird relationship with his mother, and he thinks maybe Princess Caroline isn't real and starts trying to dress up like her. Uh, Also, Todd, who of course is always the dorky one, he has a relationship at the start of it, which is weird because he's non-sexual, and a relationship with her that ends because he doesn't have anything in common with her, which I think is just smart. But he also then becomes the head of a company that is bankrolling Bojack's show through a very strange series of events. He also creates the boss of the company he works for, who is a sex robot. That can only say sexual things and is just full of dildos and weird tubes and everything. Um, Saying that, I think he was the weakest part of the show. I think Todd is kind of unnecessary a lot of times. He doesn't progress the plot. He's just there for a bit of fun, which is fine. You can't have it too serious all the time. It has to have a little bit of humor, and Todd fills that role. Words, English is my natural language, pretty damn well. But back to BoJack, I wasn't prepared or expecting the journey he takes from start to finish of the season. But I think they did a very good job of it. Maybe not the position I would have taken, but it was pretty alright. It was pretty alright. Um, there's one whole episode at a funeral where it's just him monologuing, and it has a great payoff at the end, but that I won't spoil. But it's just a great bit of writing. Like, the writers in this show are just top notch. I fucking love BoJack. Um, it even throws in a little bit of Me Too at the end of the series as well. Now, do I think it's the best season of the show? Probably not. Um, it got toned down pretty well, but sometimes the funny would kind of ruin the serious, and sometimes maybe. But I thought, like, the funny shouldn't have been there. Like, there's a scene where Bojack and Diana are having a huge argument, and every once in a while they have to stop and smile at people and go like, "Hi, have a great evening," and then just having a serious talk. And I want to know more about their serious talk. But at the same time, like, I've seen people have arguments and then, like, turn around and put on these big Stepford Wives grins. It's it's believable. The whole show might have talking animals and kids in trench coats pretending to be adults, and a giant a giant spaghetti tidal wave. But it's believable. It's probably one of the most believable shows on TV, animated or not. Uh, like I said, it wasn't the worst, and it was one of the better ones of the series. I don't think I have a ranking in my head, but it's definitely not ones that have just endless amount of slapstick. I think the slapstick is the weakest part. That's why I think Todd is the weakest part. But Todd, even Todd's an interesting character. Um, but it's all about BoJack at the end of the day. Even though sometimes some of the characters don't even interact with BoJack, they're just like vaguely off there in the distance, in the same universe. But no, I honestly, apocalypse is happening. I honestly thought it was good. I'm still processing a lot of it, but I honestly thought it was good. It was the perfect thing for me to watch after after being shit-faced last night, because I wanted a very cerebral thing. I don't want a physical. I was even thinking of gaming for a little bit, and I was like, you got plenty of gaming last night. But anyway, I recommend it. I recommend binging it or watching it in segments. It's all good, but I would recommend this season. Now, I also said I'd watch Disenchanted, but I'm not doing that today. I don't know what I'm going to do it next. So we'll see how it goes, but I think I will get around to Disenchanted at some point. Maybe even next Thursday. Maybe Thursday will become my review day or something. I don't know. But because it is the perfect time for someone who is hungover to just watch something and then maybe talk about it. And I'm not all that hungover, but still. So yeah. Tell us down below if you've seen it, what you think about the show, what you think about in particular the series if you haven't seen it, and if you have seen it, because of my rambling and stuttering and long pauses, then tell me so. I'd like to hear some feedback. I've occasionally been told that someone checked something out because I recommended it, so good. Um, I will be back probably tomorrow. I'll probably play more Shadow of Mordor, and I'll probably also be around places like Discord and Rabbit and things like that. So, if you see me, say hi. And if you liked this, you know the standard at this point. Thumbs up, thumbs down if you didn't. Comments down below, of course. And the most important thing of all is be amazing. Because I know you can be. You just have to try for it. But failing that, subscribe if not already subscribed, because that'd be great. Anyway, I am out. So I will see you all again later. Bye.